The latest economic data from the United States is raising new concerns about the strength of the labor market. After an unexpected drop in jobs during the month of February, according to the newest economic report, the U.S. economy lost approximately 92,000 jobs, a surprising shift after several months of steady employment growth. At the same time, the national unemployment rate increased slightly, rising to about 4.4%, a signal that hiring may be slowing across several major industries. Economists say the decline in jobs appears to be linked to several factors happening at the same time, including widespread healthcare worker strikes, severe winter storms across multiple states, and a general slowdown in hiring by companies facing economic uncertainty. The healthcare sector was one of the areas most affected, as large hospital systems and medical workers in several states temporarily halted operations during labor disputes. These strikes disrupted normal work schedules, forcing hospitals to reduce services, delay appointments, and temporarily pause hiring in some departments. At the same time, extreme winter weather across parts of the United States also disrupted economic activity. Heavy snowstorms and freezing temperatures affected transportation, construction projects, retail businesses, and outdoor industries, causing some employers to temporarily cut work hours or delay job placements. Economists say weather-related job losses are not uncommon during the winter months, but this year's storms were particularly severe in several regions, contributing to the unexpected employment decline. Another factor behind the job losses appears to be a broader slowdown in hiring across multiple sectors of the economy. Many companies are becoming more cautious about expanding their workforce, especially as borrowing costs remain high and economic uncertainty continues to affect global markets. Some industries, such as technology, finance, and manufacturing, have recently announced hiring freezes or small layoffs, as companies focus on cutting costs and protecting profits. Small businesses are also feeling the pressure. Higher interest rates have made it more expensive for businesses to borrow money, invest in expansion, or increase payrolls, leading many employers to delay hiring plans until the economic outlook becomes clearer. Despite the decline in jobs, some economists say the labor market remains relatively strong compared to previous economic downturns. Millions of Americans are still employed, and wages in certain industries continue to grow as companies compete for skilled workers. However, the unexpected job losses have sparked debate among financial analysts about whether the U.S. economy could be entering a slower phase of growth. Some experts warn that if job losses continue for several months, consumer spending could begin to decline. Consumer spending is one of the most important drivers of the U.S. economy, accounting for a large portion of overall economic activity. When fewer people are working, or when workers feel uncertain about their job security, they often reduce spending on travel, entertainment, major purchases, and other non-essential goods. That reduction in spending can then affect businesses, leading to slower sales and potentially more job cuts. Financial markets reacted cautiously to the latest jobs report. Investors are closely watching economic data to determine whether the labor market slowdown could influence future decisions by the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve has spent the past several years raising interest rates in an effort to control inflation, which surged during the global economic recovery after the pandemic. Higher interest rates help reduce inflation by slowing spending and borrowing, but they can also slow economic growth and hiring. Because of this, some analysts believe the Federal Reserve may now face a difficult decision. If job losses continue, policymakers may consider slowing or pausing interest rate increases to avoid putting additional pressure on businesses and workers. At the same time, inflation still remains higher than the Federal Reserve's long-term target, meaning officials must carefully balance efforts to control prices while protecting economic growth. Government officials say they are closely monitoring the situation and stress that 1 month of job losses does not necessarily signal a major economic downturn. Many economists also point out that employment data can fluctuate from month to month, especially during periods of unusual events such as strikes or severe weather. Still, the February report has added new uncertainty about the direction of the U.S. economy in the coming months. Businesses, investors, and policymakers will now be watching upcoming economic reports closely, particularly future job data, consumer spending numbers, and inflation trends. For millions of American workers, the most important question remains whether companies will continue hiring or begin slowing their workforce expansion in response to economic pressure. As the year continues, the performance of the labor market will play a major role in determining whether the U.S. economy remains stable or begins to show signs of a broader slowdown. For now, economists say the situation is developing, and the next few months of data will provide a clearer picture of where the U.S. economy is heading.